I thought I knew everything about my marriage with Samantha. 10 years, countless memories, shared dreams, and yet, a single weekend threatened to unravel all of it. She told me she was going on a girls' trip with her closest friends, and though something in my gut twisted, I nodded and wished her well. I had always trusted her, but over the past few months, subtle changes had made me wary. Furtive glances at her phone, extra-long showers, and a tone in her voice that suggested secrets she wasn't ready to share. The friends she was traveling with weren't new to me. I had met them at birthday parties and small gatherings over the years. There was Vanessa, the loud one who always seemed to dominate every conversation. There was Marcy, quiet and calculating, always observing. And Jessica, who laughed too easily, as if hiding something behind every smile. Even before the trip, I sensed the dynamics were different this time. These weren't just friends having fun. They were players in a story I hadn't been included in. Meanwhile, I had my own plan. I wouldn't sit back and wait to be blindsided. I had someone waiting for me. Lily, my girlfriend for the past year. She was sharp, witty, and completely aware of the stakes. We both understood that this weekend wasn't just about witnessing a betrayal. It was about reclaiming control, proving to ourselves that we wouldn't be sidelined by lies. I instructed her to pack lightly, to blend in, and to be ready for anything. The drive to the resort felt like a countdown. Every mile brought a mix of anticipation, fear, and determination. The closer we got, the more I realized how meticulously Samantha had planned her escape. She thought the girls' trip would shield her, hide her indiscretions, and perhaps even embarrass me if I were to find out. But she underestimated me, and more importantly, she underestimated the strength of someone standing beside me. When we arrived at the resort, the first thing I noticed was the way Samantha moved. Confident, relaxed, laughing easily as she approached a man I didn't know. My chest tightened. The girls' trip facade had been shattered the moment I laid eyes on them together. I could feel every instinct screaming that this was more than friendship, and yet I kept my expression neutral. Emotion I knew was a luxury I couldn't afford. Timing, observation, and patience would be my weapons tonight. I stayed a few steps back, letting myself absorb the scene before making any move. Samantha's laughter rang louder than it should have, warm and intimate, not the kind shared with friends. The man she was with, tall, confident, effortlessly charming, slid into her personal space with ease, and every instinct in me screamed betrayal. Yet I remained calm, watching quietly. Rage would only cloud my judgment. Clarity was my only ally. Lily stood beside me, quiet but alert. She understood the unspoken rules. Observe, gather evidence, and confront with control. There was no thrill in exposing a lie in haste. It had to be precise, undeniable. Every glance, every subtle touch between Samantha and the man, confirmed what I had feared. This was no casual fling. It was a deliberate choice, hidden beneath a mask of friendship and trust. I moved closer under the guise of checking into the resort. Each step was measured, each breath controlled. Samantha hadn't noticed me yet, or perhaps she had dismissed the idea that I might see through her carefully crafted deception. Her laughter continued, echoing through the lobby, masking the tension that I could feel just beneath her practiced composure. Every gesture she made, every casual smile, was a thread in the web she thought would protect her. And then the flicker of recognition came. Her eyes widened slightly, a fraction of a second, before she snapped her head back as if nothing had happened. That brief moment told me everything I needed to know. She knew the walls she had built around her secrets were fragile, and she had never considered that someone would breach them. Not like this. I inhaled slowly, letting the mix of anger and adrenaline settle. Lily gave me a quiet nod, a reassurance that we were aligned, that our presence together was a statement in itself. This wasn't about confrontation yet. It was about awareness, control, and timing. Samantha's betrayal was visible now, undeniable. And in a way, the sight of her unraveling just slightly under her own realization was more satisfying than any dramatic argument could ever be. I stepped forward, blending into the lobby crowd, preparing for the inevitable encounter. Samantha's so-called girls' trip had been meant to conceal her actions, but she hadn't anticipated that I wasn't alone, and that I was watching everything unfold with someone I trusted completely. Tonight, the balance of power was about to shift, and I intended to walk away with my dignity intact, leaving her to face the consequences of her choices. I finally approached Samantha, letting my presence register before I spoke. Her laughter faltered, replaced by a flash of panic that I savored quietly. The man she was with froze, confusion and embarrassment flickering across his face. But it was Samantha's reaction that mattered most. Her eyes darted between Lily and me, realization crashing over her in waves. What are you doing here?" she stammered, voice trembling slightly. I didn't answer right away. Silence carried more weight than words ever could. Every lie she had told, every secret she had kept, culminated in this single moment. The veil of deception was lifted, and she could feel it with full clarity for the first time. Lily remained behind me, letting the scene unfold. Her quiet support was a reminder that I wasn't alone, that whatever came next, I had control. I took a deliberate step closer. "I came to see the truth for myself," I said calmly, my voice steady and firm. "To witness exactly what you thought you could hide from me." There was no anger, no pleading. Just an undeniable clarity that left no room for excuses. Samantha opened her mouth to respond, but no words came. Her composure cracked under the weight of reality. Michael, realizing he was an intruder in someone else's story, shuffled awkwardly to the side, leaving Samantha exposed. Her eyes pleaded for an escape, for a chance she had already squandered with lies and betrayal. I didn't give her that chance. Betrayal of this magnitude is not corrected by apologies or excuses. It is faced, acknowledged, and left behind. I nodded at Lily, signaling it was time to leave. Together we walked away, the quiet strength of our decision more powerful than any confrontation. Samantha's eyes followed us, filled with the understanding that her deception had consequences far beyond what she had imagined. The girl's trip that was supposed to conceal her affair had done the opposite. It exposed her completely. For the first time in weeks, I felt liberation and clarity. The betrayal had been raw and painful, but walking away, standing firm with someone who respected and valued me, was intoxicating in its own right. I glanced at Lily and allowed myself a small, genuine smile. Justice doesn't need to be loud or dramatic. Sometimes it's quiet, precise, and undeniable. And tonight it was ours.